Hi guys, this is Ken Rosman, executive producer and studio head at Radical. I'm excited to take this opportunity. It's our first chance to really engage with you guys and answer your questions. And I just want to say, first and foremost, you guys are the best fans, and your guys' enthusiasm for Radical and Prototype are just absolutely awesome. So thank you guys very much. So I'd like to go ahead and start answering some questions that I know the fans are very interested in, and we appreciate you guys being so active and sending questions in. So, question time. So, Fabian Felder would asked, will there be many new available skills, or did you just take the old ones and put some innovation into them? Well, Fabian, it's a bit of both. Obviously, fan favorites needed to come back. You guys were really passionate about the things that you really liked about Proto 1, the powers, the skills, but at the same time, we knew we had to make them bigger and better and badder, and we've done so. I mean, obviously, the Tendrils power, which you guys have seen, we've got some new skills, something we're announcing next month at Gamescom. You guys will see a new skill that's pretty exciting. We're really enthusiastic to share with you guys. So hang tight. Let's talk more about those as we go, but know that there is lots of new stuff and there's innovation. So a bit of both. So thanks very much. Next up, Raul Ranger. Hopefully I said that correctly. It may be similar to the PS2 game Devil May Cry 4. In this story, Neo is the player and Dante is your enemy. What will be the situation in Prototype 2? Is Alex Mercer an enemy, or will he play an important role? Well, Raul, he's actually both. Alex Mercer is incredibly important to the Prototype universe, and he actually fully makes an appearance in Prototype 2. He is the villain. He will be going after you with spite, and you're going to be going after him with spite, and it's a battle that will ensue. So Alex is critical. Alex is an important piece. We all heard your feedback. We knew what you guys were excited about Alex. We know there's people that may not necessarily want to kill him, but I encourage you guys to just wait until we say and show you more stuff, and let you guys put some hands on it down the road and see what you guys think. So, Joe Ramsey asked a very simple question: cake or pie? I gotta tell you folks, it's pie. Big fan of cheesecake, so cake's kind of out unless you call cheesecake cake. It's a big debate on that. I'll let you guys decide. Next up, Jordan Silva. Jordan Silva says, what makes Prototype 2 different from other free roam superhero games? Well, Jordan, that's a very good question, and I have the best answer for you. Prototype 2 is about letting you do whatever you want to do. It's a game where we allow you to break rules and be awesome. Not that other superhero games don't let you do that, but really all the player choice and all the power is in the player's hand, and we let you guys do whatever you want. So it's different in that it's no rules, and it's, well, I won't say no rules, but less rules and breakable rules. So with that, it's unique in that way. Next up, Trisha Corum says, what fan art would you like me to draw for you? Well, Trisha, I gotta say, you guys are absolutely awesome. All of you, the fan art in the forum, in the Prototype page is, you guys are awesome. I can't say anything more. You guys draw some pretty amazing stuff. So Trisha, surprise me. I'll say that I like sangria, but go with it from there. Thanks, Trisha. Next up, Alexandre Flores. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Dear Sangria Man, compared to Proto 1, how did you rebalance the powers in Prototype 2? Well, Alexandre, I'm sorry, I'm slaughtering your name. We've completely reimagined them. The powers are, in Proto 1, the powers were really just, once you got a new power, you kind of favored it, and you didn't really have motivation to keep going back. So team, my friends out there in Facebook land, that'll make more sense when we hit 275,000 fans on our Facebook page. So that'll unlock in the Blacknet, that'll unlock in the Blacknet section of the Facebook page. So hang tight on that. We'll come back to it. So I come back to the reimagining and rebalancing the power. So we really, and we'll come back more on this. There's another fan out there has a similar question that I'll touch on this further. But really, we wanted the powers to be something that the players really had a reason to spend time with everything. So the powers are rebalanced and reimagined, and that they're bigger and badder for sure, but they're also more interesting, and their uses are much more interesting. So Hang on. So next up, Engatir Erelar, please, I hope I said your name right, asked, how's a baby made? Well, that unfortunately the SRB would stop me from telling you. So, we'll send a link for you maybe. Anyways, thanks for your question. So this question's come up quite a bit, so grabbing the question from two of you, Carrie Jane Milano and Joel Hummel both asked, what about the whip fist? Well, I gotta say, what about the whip fist? Whip fist has actually been in a couple screenshots, and it's actually got some new skills, some new abilities to it. So that'll be coming up later in the campaign. You'll see how the whip fist does some new damage, but it's in there and it's a fan favorite, so it's coming back. Thank you guys. All right, so Phil Kelly says, how do magnets work? Well guys, I gotta tell you, we reached out to Mr. Wizard, but Mr. Wizard wasn't available. So one of our very own, Dr. David Martindale, who actually was involved in making the IMAX camera system back in the day, is actually gonna come and tell you how magnets work. So hang tight on that one.
Phil Kelly asked the question, how do magnets work? I assume he's talking about permanent magnets. All solid stuff is made up of atoms, and they have electrons, and the electrons have a spin and they produce a magnetic field. In ordinary matter, they're all scrambled up randomly, and so they add up to nothing. And so the thing isn't magnetic and it doesn't pick stuff up. With something like soft iron, if you put a magnet near the substance, the field of the atoms in the iron line up, it becomes magnetic, and then you can pick it up with a magnet, but when the magnet goes away, it goes back to being scrambled. Then there are permanent magnets, which once you've magnetized them in the first place, they stay magnetized, because the atoms near each other like to stay in the same alignment that they had before, and they'll retain their magnetism indefinitely. Well, I see we need to get back to Ken. If you want to know more about this, just look up magnetism in Wikipedia. It has lots of information.
All right, so we're back. Thanks, Dr. Dave, for the amazing answer. One thing you'll find out with Dr. Dave, you ask a question, you get a big answer. So we have one last question for the day, for this first round of Ask Questions of the team. So that last question goes to Tiberio Potenza. Tiberio says, will there be many more things to do beyond the main story? What will you add to the free roaming component? Well, Tiberio, I'm glad you asked. We've actually got a ton of things. We obviously showed you the layers. A few other things that are coming down the pipe that you'll find out more about as we go. You've got the hunting gameplay, and you'll see the full extent of that. We have the field ops squads that you'll track down, and we have black boxes, just to name a few. And again, we'll cover off on more of those things as we go down the road, but know that there is a ton of things that will keep you plenty busy. So Chris asks, can you show us Heller's armor? Well, Chris, I can do you one better. If you look at the screenshot right here, you can actually see Heller's new shield power. And what's interesting here is that Heller's shield power actually allows him to not only take damage, but it actually allows him to deflect oncoming damage. So an incoming missile, Heller will actually be able to take out his shield and deflect it back at the guy who shot the missile at him, or actually deflect it to somebody else. So not only is your armor power, your shield power, a defensive power, it's also an offensive power. So really excited to show you guys that one. So Nico asks, will the bosses be as frustrating as they were in Prototype 1, and will they still have backup from annoying minions? Well, Nico, I'm glad you asked. So I can tell you, no, they won't. We absolutely appreciate the constructive feedback that we've gotten from you guys, the press, our fans. Like I said, we've taken all of that feedback in and really working hard to make sure that those frustrating situations that appeared in Prototype 1 won't happen again. Boss fights will be very fair and balanced. You'll have a lot more tactics and strategies to utilize in those boss battles, really making them much more fun and engaging, and a much more equal playing field. So really excited for you guys to see that coming up later. So Yahil, hopefully I've pronounced that correctly, asks, is there more environmental variety? Can I go and have a cheeseburger before I have a killing rampage of death and destruction? Is the disguise system more touched upon, such as allowing different disguises to have different effects on your environment? How is the story going to be told? Glad you asked. So actually there is. Your disguises and the actual awareness system have been completely touched upon and improved. I'm really excited about this. You guys will find out later on as we release some more footage. For example, you consume a Blackwatch commander or soldier, and you actually shapeshift into the Blackwatch disguise, you'll actually find that the population of NYZ is actually fearful of you. They'll actually back away from you. You'll need these things to hijack and break into the BlackNet secure network. You'll either have to be a Gentek scientist or a Blackwatch soldier. So again, your disguise is incredibly critical to your success through the game. We think, to the benefit of, not to the frustration of. And again, you'll see people reacting to you, be able to go different places. We've got constructs that you'll have to be in disguise to get to certain places. So again, really excited about this. And these things will help drive the narrative and the story. You'll have to be doing different things at different times. As for the cheeseburger, so I don't know about the cheeseburger. There is a hot dog stand, but nobody's working. So anyways, thanks. All right. So Darren asks, are there any new features in the game that you can mention that you haven't mentioned before? Well, Darren, I'm glad you asked. I can hint and tease about a new feature that you guys will actually find out more about. It's actually going to see it in our brand new CGI Part 2 trailer next week. It's being revealed at New York Comic Con. So I won't give you too many details, but I will say it involves Heller's special abilities with the infection and some of the things that are created by the infection. So again, I think you guys are going to be really excited about it. I think you're going to be fascinated with what you can do with it, and we'll leave it at that. There you go. Yonatan, hopefully I've pronounced your name correctly. Apologize in advance if I didn't. Will there be some way to play as Alex Mercer? Come on, we all want it. We hear you. We hear you guys constantly. We know this is one of the #1 questions you guys ask about all the time on Facebook. We can honestly tell you, Alex Mercer plays a very important role in Prototype 2. He's a critical piece to the storyline. He is a critical piece to what you're going to experience. Right now, all we're ready to really talk about is Heller. There's nothing we can reveal at this time. But, again, we hear you. We're listening. So thanks. All right, so Pratik asks, do you have dual wielding in Prototype 2? And if so, how does it work? I'm glad you asked, because we do. Or at least a similarity, or a version of it. So actually what we do have is the ability to have 2 powers mapped to 2 face buttons all of the time. Really excited about this because it really means that you can have a lot of different combinations. You can actually have your claw powers on one face button and your tendril power on another face button, and you can actually smoothly transition from a nice claw swipe, taking out the guy, to a tendril punch, and just really do a lot of devastating power. And it's just, you're really excited what you can do with this. Being able to combine your hammer fist and your blade, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. So yep, dual wielding's in there. We're really excited with the implementation, and we're excited to let you guys see it as soon as we can. All right. Jared, you've been with us from the beginning. We love you, man. So Jared asks, Ken, if you had to choose between a glass of sangria and having Heller's powers in real life, which would you choose? Sangria! Well, this is a tough question, right? Because I love my sangria. But if I had the powers, I could get my sangria whenever I wanted. Sangria now, sangria whenever I want. Both! Anyways, thanks, Jared. Nice. Nice. All right. So Brian asks, will the story be more dramatic and focused on the main character, Heller? Yes, they will. Yes, both will, actually. We're really working towards a simple, epic story, well told. We want to keep it, we want that main storyline to be really clear, something you guys can really get behind while still keeping that sub-narrative that really is that conspiracy that you all enjoyed from the first game. But really that top-level story, just simple, epic, well told. And with a character that you can really empathize with and that you really want to play and you want to know more about his story. So I believe we're on track for that. You guys will be excited when you get there. All right, so Stephanie asks, while planning, how long do characters stay in development? That's a really good question, and there's no one answer, Stephanie. Honestly, characters take time. For Alex Mercer from Prototype 1 took well over a year. We really, finding that balance of is he this or is he that. With Heller, we started out with a little more clarity on what we wanted to achieve, so he was easier, but he still took a fair amount of time. We started with this idea of dream casting and really, what were the characteristics about Heller that we really wanted to make sure were communicated, both in his visuals and his style and his swagger and his way he talks. But they can take anywhere from 9 months to a year and a half, roughly in there. Good question. Thanks. Let's see, Ignatius, I hopefully said your name correctly. Will there be a more effective dodge evade system like standing dash, for instance? Wow, that's a really good question, and it couldn't be more well timed. Believe by the time you guys are going to see this, you'll have already seen the video, The Art of Combat. And you'll actually see the answer to this question. We're really excited about this, really improving Heller's strategic and tactical abilities on the battlefield. And absolutely, dodging, evading, getting out of the way, being able to have more control over the pace of combat and the situation to do some better attacks and put yourself in a strategic position is actually something really powerful and really excited. And again, you'll see a lot of that in this video, but more of that to come. Thanks very much. All right, guys. So thank you guys again. We're really excited about the level of commitment and excitement you all have for this product and for what we're doing at Radical. Keep the questions coming. We're always listening. We're always there to talk to you guys and engage with you guys. And if you're going to be at New York Comic Con, we're excited to see you there and got some cool stuff for you guys. Thank you.